Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Bolt City Podcast. This is a tough one because we're jumping on right now, right after the Monday night game. Cowboys win 2017. Chargers fall short, even though opportunities were there, guys. And I'll be honest with you, I'm as frustrated with Chargers as much as I ever have been. And that's saying a lot. I've been watching this team for many years. This loss was ridiculous, Josh.
Dude, I'm beyond frustrated. I just want to apologize for all the Charger fans out there that had to watch that right now. That was disgusting football from beginning to end. Actually, not from the beginning to end. First drive, I started sending out wild text messages to everybody I knew. We're gonna F it up tonight. We're gonna kill this. We're gonna do this in a good way. And then we really effed it up in a bad way after that. It was horrible. The offense lost that game. We'll just get right to it. The offense lost that game for the Chargers. Defense did enough to win the game. The amount of penalties between both teams was disgusting. Mario, what do you think?
This team isn't serious. They're not. They're a joke. They're a wannabe. They put on the costume and they try to get into the club that says Contenders and they get kicked out pretty quickly. That's what they are. They're your drunk friend that's, goes by a different name, gets in a party and gets kicked out quick. They're pretending. They're not real. You said the offense didn't show up tonight. They didn't show up at all. The O-line, they were little boys tonight. They were literally little boys, and the grown men were on the other side of the ball. They should have – Parsons and company should have literally take their pocket, flip inside out, and then given it to the O-lineman, and they could just hold it for the rest of the day. That's what they should have done. It was that embarrassing. It was that bad. But at the end of the day, what should we expect? The Chargers had a chance to win this game in the end, too, and guess what they did? They charged it. They didn't win it. This is not a Super Bowl caliber team. It's not a playoff team. This is a team that's very just mid. They're okay. They're nothing else. They're nothing else than that. And they showed that today against a team that was on their level. And they lost at home in a crowd that made a lot of noise for the Chargers. So I don't think this is a serious team. I think this team's done. I look at the remaining schedule guys and I go, maybe one win out of your next four.
All right. There's so many things, man, that I'm upset about that I know you guys are upset about too. I'm just going to fire through a couple of them. You guys just listen to my rant because I'm going to do my best not to swear. Honestly, I think I'm more irritated now, if it's possible, than the Jacksonville game. And I know that sounds ridiculous because that was a playoff game. This right here, Mario, I'm with you because this was the game that made a difference on what direction your season was going. Are you a serious team? Are you a championship team? A team like the Chiefs, who is a championship team, is watching everything you're doing. How to be laughing their asses off. Let me tell you, if every NFL game was what we saw tonight, I'm not even talking the Chargers and Cowboys. If every game was like tonight, the sport wouldn't be as popular. It was ugly as hell. The rhythm of the game was terrible. The penalties were insane. Both teams were an embarrassment to the National Football League. The fact that the Chargers ended up on the bad end of it made it even worse. But I'm with Josh. The way they started off defensively and offensively, this is going to be insane. This is going to be one of the greatest days ever to be a Charger fan. And the best part of that game for the Charger fans was the first two drives. The first one for Dallas, the first one for the Chargers, and it was all downhill from right then. Everything was a disappointment. And I hate to say it, the biggest stars disappointed me the most. Justin Herbert disappointed me. Kellen Moore disappointed me. Kellen Moore, okay, they come out of the 2-minute warning to end the game. And how do you not have multiple plays set up? Because if you look at the game, the play that ended up being the last turnover, Micah Parsons, boom, sack, clock's running. They don't have any timeouts. You look over and you're looking at the receivers on the left side and they have their hands up. I don't know the play. What are you going to do right now? But, the smart thing would have been to do to run to the line and bam, snap the ball. Guess what? You would have had 5 Cowboys offsides because they're all celebrating Micah Parsons' sack. But they weren't prepared. This team was not prepared for the 2-minute drill, which every team does at the end of every single practice. How does that happen? So you ran a play where I don't even know if half the guys on the team knew what the play was, and boom, there's an interception, game over. There's nothing you can do. It's all over. Big names, Justin Herbert missing Keenan Allen all night long. Should have equaled at least 14 points. Derwin James, terrible tonight. Joey Bosa, where were you? How come you can't finish a play? 2 tackles. Dude, look, you're there all night long. And except when you need to in the biggest plays, you're on the sideline. All these guys who make big-time money, who people are wearing their jerseys, enough. The big-time guys didn't show up, and that's what superstars are supposed to do, is show up. And these guys didn't show up. And it's the reason why they lost the game. It's kind of funny how the guys that nobody knows were the guys that did show up tonight.
It's a common theme. You said it right there. Confusion at the end of games. The Chargers have proven this time and time again. When the going gets tough, the Chargers are nowhere to be found. Justin Herbert, I am sorry. It is hard to defend him as a Charger fan that he's elite. At this point in time, he is a stats machine. He is not an elite quarterback. Elite quarterbacks finish these games in prime time. This is 2 games in a row the Chargers have choked when it matters most. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Cowboys. The offense was nowhere to be found. For me, the game goes on three different groups. You got Kellen Moore, horrible game. The run wasn't there. The run wasn't there all game. So stop trying to run the ball. There wasn't 1 second during the game today where you would say, wow, they could run the ball. Not one. You know who Micah Parsons is. You know who DeMarcus Lawrence is. You know who all their front seven is. It's a really good front seven. Stop trying to run the ball. Kellen Moore, Justin Herbert, Dave just alluded to it. There's 2 opportunities. He had Keenan Allen wide open downfield, and he missed him. I don't know how you don't make those throws. He's wide open. You're supposed to be a top quarterback. You got to make those throws. Third group, offensive line. Worst game of the season. Worst game of the season. That was last year's offensive line, what we saw today, and some. They were so bad. So many penalties. Every single guy on the line got a penalty today, I think. It was awful. It was hard to watch, man. Like Dave said, the first drive for both teams was cool. It was great football. From there, it sucked. It sucked all the way through, and I put a lot of it on Justin Herbert because he is the captain of the offense. When the offense struggles, you got to point the finger at him.
You have to. And at points tonight, we saw, guys, he was missing the easy throw. It's like he just didn't want it. And if he was making it, like in the red zone, Eckler was open for a good 3 seconds before he threw the football. He throws the football, then Eckler gets hit right away. And you see Aikman goes right away. That ball's got to come out. It's got to come out as soon as Eckler breaks away. It's got to come out. Then earlier, he throws it to Keenan Allen on an out route when he has Palmer in the middle of the field on a crosser. Again, wide open coverage. But why are you making the hard throw? Or why are you late? He was doing that all night. Like you said, he left 14 points on the board. This was a game where if you're a Herbert hater, Herbert's not that good of a QB, you've won. And you've won all year. Like you said, elite QB, I really don't know. Elite QBs score in the red zone. Elite QBs win this game. Elite QBs know what to do in a 2-minute drill, even if you get sacked. You had Joshua Palmer literally looking at Keenan Allen going like this. You mentioned it, Dave. Like, what the hell am I doing? You have to have something set, something that everyone knows. When it gets sacked, whatever the freaking happens, you got something. They don't have it. They didn't have it. And McCarthy, by the way, I don't know about you, Dave, but they gave him every chance to win. There's 4 times the Cowboys literally said, please win this game. If they were a girl, they said 4 times, please take me home. And you said, not today, sir. Not today. No Uber app. Nope. I'm staying at the bar.
All right. You're right. It was not a well-coached game on either side, right? It was kind of disappointing to see the way things worked out. Okay. I want to go back because I just went in that rant. And when I say that the 2-minute warning passed and you burned all your timeouts, and I was kind of wondering when he was burning his timeouts, because we all knew a 2-minute warning was coming up. Like, wouldn't you want to have at least one timeout and say, look, we're going to run this thing down. We understand we're going to lose some seconds, but at least we control when we're going to stop the clock. You don't control when you can stop the clock at that point. If you would have held on to yours and let the 2-minute warning be that timeout at that moment, but coming out of the 2-minute warning, what are they talking about on the sideline? That you don't have 2 plays prepared for that situation. If you are sacked, that is exactly what's going to happen. And yet the Cowboys really could have been embarrassed by it because they went into complete celebration mode and every guy is way back behind Herbert and you had a chance to take advantage of it, but you didn't. And they weren't prepared. So that's bad coaching. And whether that goes to Staley or Kellen Moore or whoever else, that's not how good teams win. And that's not what the Chargers do. The Chargers are so far off from being where they need to be. The best thing for Justin Herbert when we want to talk about ego, because look, we're all Herbert fans. Right now, we're so frustrated with him because you feel like your quarterback costs you the game. The guy that makes all that money costs you the game. Is that they played the Dallas Cowboys. That's the best thing to happen to them because tomorrow the national media is going to be talking about Dak Prescott and they're going to be talking about the Dallas Cowboys rebounding after an embarrassing loss to the 49ers. If that was anybody else, man, Herbert would be getting killed. But he's going to get a pass this week for his poor performance. And in LA, people aren't going to sit there and give him a hard time because that's not what LA does. They're going to hold him accountable. His teammates know in the locker room as they're getting dressed. Keenan Allen knows, the veteran knows, we left points on the scoreboard. But man, that is not the way you play. And I tell you what, let's change it around. As you can see comparisons to Tua and Herbert for the rest of their careers. If that was Tua, he'd be getting lit up for missing wide open receivers because everybody's willing to take a shot at Tua. It's going to be his whole career. Herbert gets a pass. But you know what? We just care about the scoreboard. The three of us and Charger fans who are tuning into the Bolt City podcast, we just care about the damn scoreboard. We do not care about individual stats. And that game right there, we lost that game because, again, offensively, we did not do our job. Defensively, how many third and longs did we end up giving them first downs on? Insanely bad football. Insane. 3rd and 19. We're going to stop them this time. No, we aren't. We're going to get a pass interference down the field. No, we aren't. We're going to get 1 more yard to Tony Pollard. I mean, what the hell's happening? It's insane how bad that game was. And as someone who follows the Chargers like you guys, I'm embarrassed for that organization, what they did tonight.
Going into tonight's game, we thought it was crazy that the Cowboys were favored by 1.5, 2.5 points, whatever it was. The Cowboys should have been favored. They were the better team tonight. The Chargers, I'm so tired of talking about, hey, the Chargers got this guy that's an all-pro, this guy that's a pro bowler. It doesn't mean anything at all because when push comes to shove, the Chargers do not execute. Dave, let me ask you a question. You're talking about defense. Which two things bothered you more, okay? The Derwin James helmet-to-helmet hit for the 80th time, or Michael Davis missing that tackle that led to Tony Pollard running the ball 60 yards down the field?
Look, I know Michael. First, I have bad news for you, Josh. I did bet the house on this game. I'm going to have to move in with you. This place is gone in a couple days. Okay. First of all, we're all moving in with Josh. He's the only one who didn't bet the house. All right. Here's the deal. Michael Davis, dude, he stinks. When Michael Davis does anything good, I'm like, that's a positive. Derwin James, I expect a lot from, right? He's a high-priced guy. He's one of the best players in the NFL. I don't know what it was this week, and trust me, this is not an excuse for Derwin James. This was a bad week for the NFL and helmet-to-helmets. They were all over the place this weekend, all over. It seemed like almost every game somebody was launching themselves into somebody, but it is a dumb penalty because you know the NFL frowns upon it. I was very disappointed by the way Derwin James played today, and I think it's the only time in his whole career that I could actually say that, where I'm like, what is Derwin James doing? I felt like, Josh, that Derwin James was playing for himself. Like, hey, I'm on the national stage, and by the time this game's over, everyone's going to be talking about me. I felt like Derwin James fell out of what the system was. It was the Derwin James show that didn't work out for the Derwin James show. And you see that happen in sports all the time. When you play as an individual, the team loses. The team suffers.
How many times does Derwin James have to get a helmet-to-helmet penalty before he stops doing it? And I feel like I'm talking to a little kid. This is the 3rd time I can remember him doing this. He did it against the Colts last year when he got ejected. Yep. He did it this year twice, I believe, on a 3rd down where he killed the Chargers in a game they lost. And then today he does it again. How many times are you going to do this? How many times are you going to do this? You're supposed to be the best player on the defense. You're supposed to be the best safety in the NFL. And you continuously hurt the team by doing dumb penalties. Michael Davis, when he misses the tackle, I'm with you, Dave. I'm thinking, what do you do well? What do you do well? There's nothing you do to help this team. I don't understand how CeeDee Lamb, if they would have lost this game, the Cowboys, how does CeeDee Lamb not strangle Dak Prescott? Dude, he can't guard me. I think every single time CeeDee Lamb was targeted today, it was a completion. The fact that the Cowboys didn't target him 30 times makes zero sense. Asante Samuel Jr. couldn't cover him. Michael Davis couldn't cover him. Nobody on that Chargers team could cover him. And the Chargers had a bunch of backups in the secondary. The fact that the Cowboys only scored 20 points is an actual miracle.
It is a miracle. And just a heads up for everyone. When you do something that you're not supposed to do, you don't look at the person right away after you do it. Derwin James doing the helmet-to-helmet hit and then looking at the ref and just staring at him like, are we going to do it?
You see what I did there?
Yeah. Dude, I think my nephew's done that to me. Like, hey, Asher, don't touch that. And he just... And I'm like, why'd you do that? And he's a 3-year-old and you're a grown man in the NFL and you're dumber than him. Like, what are you thinking there? Like, it's just, and that's the leader of our defense doing that. Thank the Lord that our front 7 played decently well, or I think they would have more than 20 points. Or thank the Lord that Mike McCarthy is such a stupid, dumb idiot that they would have put up 40 points on us. And the other thing, too, I want to get to about this defense, I think the other thing that they struggled with is finishing plays. That Pollard run finished the play. You had him. You wrapped up. Finish it by throwing him to the ground. Dak Prescott, every time they escaped the pocket, got hands on him, finish it, and go to the ground. They didn't finish the plays. They stopped halfway. And that shows in every game that they play, right? I'll go back to the Jags game last year. We stopped halfway in that game. Today, first drive of the game, we stopped after that. The offense said, sounds good. We got everything we wanted to do. Thanks for coming. Enjoy. Have a good ride home. Get home safe, guys. Dallas fans, fly home safe. It was just ridiculous. And the play action, I text you guys this, and Dave, Josh, I wanted to punch a hole through the wall. You can't run play action when the run isn't there.
Nope.
Okay? It's like Ben Simmons pump faking from the three-point line. We all know this doesn't work. We all know it's not going to happen. You're not fooling anybody. It's dumb, and they continue to do it. And this team, Josh, I don't think this team is a playoff team.
They're not a playoff team, Mario. They're pretenders. You said it earlier in the show. They are pretenders. These two teams that played today are both pretenders. I'm sorry for all the Cowboys fans that want to hate on us. Your team's a pretender. Dak Prescott's not going to lead you to the promised land. Sorry about it. Chargers, I'm more focused on them. Justin Herbert at this point in time is a pretender. It hurts me so bad to say that. He is my favorite player in the league. He is a pretender. The offensive line didn't help him out, but he didn't help himself out either by making those throws. And Mario, it's hilarious. You're going to play action, a run. The defense is thinking, okay, hand it off. You're not going to be able to run it anyway. Stop doing that. And Kellen Moore, close your mouth. Why is your mouth always open? You're freaking me out. God, that slow motion they put on Kellen Moore was disturbing. Close your mouth, dude. Breathe through your nose, for God's sakes. Kellen Moore today, dude, like took his foot off the gas from the get-go. There's no creativity to the offense. Quentin Johnson, I don't even know if I could be mad at you because the ball wasn't thrown your way. Are you just not getting open ever? Josh Palmer and Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, you guys played well. Well. I can't say anything about you guys. Everybody else, where were you? Even Austin Eckler was only on the field for a limited time, which was weird. He's supposed to be 100% healthy. To me, you're just letting the defense off the hook when you put in Spiller and Kelly. I'm serious. There's no threat there at all when you put in Spiller and Kelly. It reminds me of USC against Texas with Reggie Bush not on the field. It's like, dude, if they're on the field, you know they're not going to do anything. Just put Austin Eckler out there. Everybody wants to see Austin Eckler. Put him out there as much as possible. I don't care if he got punched in the face in pregame. Put him on the field.
You know, it's funny. Speaking of pregame, I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those in any sport. I don't like when players or coaches talk to the other guys before the game. Like, we can talk afterwards. You can call me in the offseason. We can do whatever. But the fact Kellen Moore is walking around like it's a family reunion with the Cowboy coaches and players, dude, I hate that stuff. Man, you're competing here. What the hell are you doing? You know what I learned from today, Kellen Moore? And I've been your biggest supporter is you aren't him. You aren't that guy. I don't want you as the head coach. I'm fine. You can leave after 1 year. You get an offer, go ahead and go. Who's going to offer you right now? You know who's going to get the goddamn offer? The coordinators for the Detroit Lions. They're getting offers. That's who's getting offers when the season's over. Both offensive defensive coordinator, they're going to get offers. Kellen Moore, I don't know if you get another offer. And look, Chargers, here's the deal. Fans know it. You got to get a big name coach. You got to get somebody that has control of this team. Just like Mario said, you finish. You got to sit there and finish your tackles. Guess what? You have a disciplined coach, Marty Schottenheimer type teams, guys who are veteran coaches. Man, that small stuff right there that you think is basic, that doesn't happen with a veteran coach. It doesn't happen. Mike Tomlin's teams don't do that. That's insane. When you aren't prepared coming out of a 2-minute warning with 0 timeouts, and then half the team doesn't know the last play of the game, it's just terrible football, man. That's right there. It's details. The head coach. Where Staley is right now, he's not calling offense. He's not calling defense. He's supposed to be the guy to make sure everyone else has done their job. Guess what? Guys didn't do their job. That falls on you. You're the head coach. Most people can't even name coordinators' names. That falls on you as the head coach. It's been too long. We've seen you drop the ball too many damn times. I'm done. And if the Chargers ever want to fix this, go back to what made you successful in a short time, and that's going with an established coach, borderline Hall of Fame coach or Hall of Fame coach. That's where they need to go. Don Coryell and Schottenheimer, 2 greatest coaches the Chargers had. Guess what? They're 2 guys that everybody knows because of their success in this league. And the Chargers sit there and always go cheap. And they always sit there and pay guys that aren't going to ask for the big check. And guess what? You get what you pay for. You get this crap.
I want to revisit Steelers defense later, but I want to read you guys these stats first from the offense. Because there's something I need to write that down. Something I really want to hit about Staley's defense because it was infuriating. But this Kellen Moore offense on Chargers first down plays tonight, first drive of the game, 100% pass, 14.3 yards per play. The rest of the game, 48% pass, 1.8 yards per play.
Yeah,
That's
felt
it.
like it.
That's the difference. Yeah, Eckler, 14 carries for 27 yards.
Yeah, great. Wasn't the over under like 51?
Yeah, 1.9 average.
Yeah. Whoo, man. And you're saying running backs deserve more money.
Yeah. Then where was the O-line tonight, by the way? Where the hell was this O-line? And what were they thinking today? Like, Josh, they couldn't block anyone.
Couldn't block anybody. The Cowboys knew what the recipe is to beat the Chargers. You bring the house, you make Justin Herbert make good throws. Usually he does that, but the issue with the Chargers is Keenan Allen is the only one that creates space. So if you're going to bring the house, who's Justin Herbert going to throw the ball to? You saw that all night today. Keenan Allen, to me, always shows up, and I think everybody feels that way. Whenever it's a big-time game, Keenan Allen always plays big time. I love watching Keenan Allen play because he's always going to show up. The thing that drives me a little bit crazy about Justin Herbert is how many times he doesn't try to thread the needle. You got that big time arm, man. Try to thread the needle just a little bit. Every now and then, he always shoots guys or throws the ball out of bounds. Try to take some shots. Patrick Mahomes is out there taking shots. Josh Allen's taking shots. You got to finish these games, man. Phillip Rivers, say what you want about him, but he's finishing one way or another on and off the field. You know, you got to try to finish this. You got to try. You got to try to finish this game.
Yeah, he does finish.
You need to try to throw the ball. Come on. If you got that big arm, you got to use it, man. Try to throw the ball when it matters. And at the end of these games, it's so uncharacteristic that he threw that interception because that really never happens. He never tries to put the ball in a tight window. I know he was getting sacked and he just threw the ball up there, but you got to try to thread these needles, man. Like you're supposed to be an elite quarterback.
You know, it's funny. There was a point in the game in the fourth quarter where I was thinking, I wish Phillip Rivers was out there. I haven't done that since Phillip Rivers retired. But I remember thinking, I think we would have a better shot if Rivers was our quarterback in this situation. I just knew they were going to blow this thing. And I'm telling you what, we talked about Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer stepped up like he did against the Falcons last year. Like nobody expected anything from Josh Palmer today, right? And Josh Palmer stepped up. He came through some big plays and some throws that weren't great that Josh Palmer made some nice catches on.
And he was hurt. And he was hurt.
Yeah, he was hurt.
Here's the play. Honestly, why it was a good thing you guys weren't in the same room as me because I just started throwing stuff. Was the Spiller play where Spiller got a run, they got a carry, and I just went, "Are we just throwing plays away?" And I just bam knocked everything right off the desk. And it's like Spiller's family was shocked he got the ball. Like, what are we doing? Why are we throwing plays away with Spiller? Spiller, what? What are we doing? No offense to that guy, but dude, outside of his family and us, nobody knows who he is. Why are we putting him in the game to get a carry? The Cowboys are like, keep doing that. That is ridiculous that you sit and you waste a play with Spiller.
I'll do you one worse. The Everett run? Yeah.
That's the craziest
what
thing
the
of all
hell?
time.
What? He's going to motion?
I guarantee when they call that play, Everett's like, I don't want it.
Yeah. I put that in bold and highlighted, just going, why? Like, just why? Like, I love Everett. Hard physical runner. But when you're coming in motion and you're going to hand it off to a guy, usually that's supposed to be a fast guy that can get outside the tackles.
Yeah, he's
Everett's
not
not that.
He's not Kelsey. No.
No. I'd rather have him pull and you follow him. Like, what the hell was that? We're running a jet motion for a tight end.
Everyone kept saying that this was the Kellen Moore game, the way we've been talking about it. You know, if you watched anything before the game about, oh man, Kellen Moore, he circled this on his calendar. Dude, if that's the best he can do, guys, there's nothing in that bag of tricks. There are no tricks.
No.
There's nothing there. We've seen the best of Kellen Moore. It's not great. Lombardi's laughing his ass off, but I'll still take more over Lombardi.
Yeah.
What are they doing on the bye week? What team you're playing? Yeah. What are you doing on the bye week? Are you just like messing around? Like you have no creativity? You give Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay a bye week. They're coming in with some crazy stuff. There's nothing cool or crazy.
Andy Reid never loses after a bye week, ever.
We never win after a bye week. I mean,
Yeah,
this
we
team
don't.
is the most confusing team to cheer for. I hate watching the Chargers play because I don't know what I'm going to get. It's like walking into a room blind and then who's here? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. This team is the worst, dude. And Mario, you said it. We can't gloss over this because it was the number one issue today. The offensive line was horrible. It
Horrible.
was horrible. The penalties were horrible. Zion Johnson, what are you doing? Trey Pepkins, what are you doing?
Yeah, why do we have
Rashawn
linemen
Slater.
keep running downfield? What the hell's going on?
I don't know what's going on. Will Clapp like breaks his leg and stays in there. Tough guy. But what are you doing sometimes, bud? Like, I don't know what any of these guys are doing out there. It was a complete mess on the offensive line. To me, the Justin Herbert, offensive line, Kellen Moore. I've said it already. Those are the three biggest issues today. Defense did enough. I don't think they were great, but they did enough. The front seven, they did enough for sure. They stopped the run. Tony Pollard was neutralized. Everything else, I don't know, but they did enough. The Chargers should have won this game.
The offensive line, sorry, Mark, real quick.
No,
I want
go
to
ahead.
touch on what he just said. The offensive line running down the field on a pass play is something you see a freshman do like in the Big Ten or the SEC. And then guess what? He does it one time before the coach kills him. The fact that there are NFL players doing it, it was nuts to me. The first time I was really mad. Second time I couldn't even speak. Like, how did this happen? Are we coached that bad that these guys don't even know basic rules?
Yes.
Well, in
Apparently.
their defense, there are RPOs, so like it is hard. But like, I get what you mean.
I'm with Josh. SoFi Stadium, the worst surprise party place of all time. Because you're right. You don't know what you're going to get. It is.
Crazy fest.
Here's the thing that's interesting too about this offense
2023.
is the moments they were put in places to score or they did score. It wasn't by their own doing, right? Like that first possession where they scored, yes, it was the best drive of the game, but Darius Davis had a great punt return that put him in a great field position for that to happen. You know, and then the other opportunities all came from situations in which the defense put them in great. They literally did the Dallas Cowboys. The defense put them in situations where it's easier for them to score that they could not put themselves in, right? That punt, they off the punt, they do something stupid. Chargers are a good spot to score. So also why I didn't have any confidence that they would be able to score in the 2-minute drill. Because the defense didn't get a pick. The defense didn't do anything to put them on the other side of the field. Them going full field was just not an option. And holy hell, when you have a top QB, I feel like you should be so comfortable in a 2-minute drill inside the red zone. And I was thinking about this today. I was watching this game, and I'm also someone that's to deal with Justin Fields. And I still had, and today I had just as much anxiety over Herbert dropping back to Fields. Like in the red zone, I was like, I legitimately don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where that ball's going to get thrown. And it's just like, this is the point we are. This is the point we're at right now. It's just not good. It's not good. And I will say this. I agree with you, Josh. I think this is the one game this year where I think the defense absolutely did their part. Held them to 20 points. They should score more than 20 points to win a game.
If you got Justin Herbert as your quarterback, 20 points to win the game, right?
Yeah.
The lady that was screaming her head off that was freaking everybody out, she
I feel
expected
bad
to
for
win.
her. I feel bad for her.
She was crying tears of joy, and now she's definitely crying tears of sadness because that was horrible. I don't know what to make of this, guys. Like moving forward, we got hard games, really hard games. This is one of those games you're going to look back at and say we should have won, just like the Titans. We should have won. Do you have hope that the Chargers can make the playoffs? What's the outlook here?
All right. First of all, you look at some of the games yesterday that we spoke about, like, the Eagles went in to play the Jets and kind of overlooked them. I mean, that's what we're assuming, right? The 49ers kind of did the same thing, had some injuries and kind of overlooked the Browns. I mean, the Browns had a backup quarterback, but hell, you should be able to win. You just saw what they've done to every other team. Brock Purdy's never lost a game as a starting quarterback. It's going to be a cakewalk. There's always that slip game for teams. The thing is, this wasn't a slip game for the Chargers. It would be easier to justify and say this was the Chargers slip game. But it wasn't. This was the best we could do game. And yes, the bet, you did terrible. You completely embarrassed yourself. You know what's frustrating is I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this team and I'm going, okay, they're going to win and they're going to go 3-2. And then when you hear people say who don't follow Charger football, these national announcers, this is a team that should be 0-4. I'm like, 0-4? And then if you break it down and you want to sit there and play the coin flip game and go, yeah, they could be 0-4. So now you're saying this is an 0-5 team? Okay, so real quick, guys, let's take a couple weeks ahead. Let's see where they're at through the month of November. Okay, Josh? Here we go. Chiefs next week. Are they going to be favored? No, right? Chiefs are going
God,
to be
no.
favored. Okay, Bears at home. It's a Sunday night game.
Favorite.
Chargers should be favored, right? Especially if Justin Fields' thumb is still not connected to his hand. Chargers at the Jets Monday night the following week. Now we don't know what the Jets are. Who's going to be favored in that game?
The Jets might be favored.
At home
Jets,
against the
Jets could be favored in that.
Yeah,
Deadass.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. Detroit Lions coming to LA. The Lions are going to be favored.
Yep.
Okay. Chargers at the Packers. Don't know. And then I'll finish out the last one in November. Ravens and Chargers again. So I don't know what direction this organization's going. This was supposed to be the day that they turned the table on their season. They missed a golden opportunity because everyone's expecting them to get their asses kicked next week against Kansas City because they always lose to Kansas City. But this was not a good day in charge of football. And I'll tell you what, as dumb as this sounds and as old as I am, I was more pumped up for this game today than any regular season game I can remember in my lifetime. I mean, honestly, I'm writing you guys, let's go, with a lot more swear words in there. But I was like, literally, that's all I could think about all day long was kickoff. And I'm counting down the hours. I didn't do anything except get ready for this game. I was so excited for it. I obviously talked about it on the show. It wasn't just trying to sell you to listen to the show. It was because as a sports fan, as a football fan, as someone who's all in on this team, I was like, this is the day. This is the day that you start talking about your chances for 2023 and you put the Jacksonville stuff behind you and the Tennessee loss behind you. And this is where they turn the corner and they blew it. Now they're so far in a hole right now. I don't know what's next for this team.
There's just a different kind of sadness when you lose games so close instead of getting your ass kicked. Like these games the Chargers lose are in their grasp. Dak Prescott isn't taking over these games. The Chargers had these opportunities so many times. Mike McCarthy, to me, is one of the bottom 10 coaches in the league. The Chargers have these opportunities. I don't know if to be a glass half full guy say, hey, we're close, or a glass half empty guy saying, hey, we blow it all the time when we have the chance. I don't really know how to look at this thing. I'm glad we're in these games, but I'm super, super frustrated that we blow it when it matters. I don't know, Mario, do you look at it glass half full, glass half empty?
Oh, I think the glass is broken. Glass is shattered. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't see this as any type of silver lining whatsoever. I think it's only going to get worse with what we have coming up. God bless America that the Bears suck so bad. But even so, do the Chargers kill teams?
No.
Do they? No. Like that could be a 7-point win. Awesome. Like amazing. My question for you guys, when do we hear the locker rooms falling apart? When do we hear locker rooms lost? When do you think
care.
that
I
comes?
don't even care. That's fine.
You think that's coming after this game?
Let me tell you, there should be finger pointing. There should be finger pointing. The problem is the guys with the loudest voices in there are the ones who didn't play well today. That's
Keenan
the
Allen
problem.
played well.
Yeah, Keenan Allen
played
says
well.
something. You better believe it.
Mac played well.
Mac played
I'd
well.
give Mac played well.
Yeah. I've never. To be honest with you, I haven't been around Khalil Mack to tell you what he's like. I've been around everyone else basically. That's a big time guy, and in that locker room on the defensive side, Khalil Mack I don't know well, but I know Bosa and I know Derwin James, and I guarantee you James is like, I let my team down. Knowing the kind of guy he is, he knows he didn't help the team today. It's funny when Khalil Mack started the first series off and he got a sack. I'm like, oh my gosh, here he goes again. Like, this is crazy. This old man is going to be, all pro player. And then, Khalil Mack was a pressure guy. Joey Bosa had opportunities for plays and didn't come through with any of them. He was there over and over again. He couldn't sit there and pull that sack off. It was frustrating. I don't know. I mean, when you talk about the locker room, Mario, who needs to step up to say something? Keenan Allen seems like the only one that could say something, and no one could respond back.
I think it's got to come from Herbert, 100% of ownership. One, I think just of ownership. I haven't played it. I haven't played well at all. I haven't lived up to what I need to be at all. Also, just a quick shout out to all the guys that got paid this past summer. All really playing not too hot, right? Burrow, Herbert, can't do a 2-minute drill.
Lamar Jackson's doing well.
Yeah.
Lamar's doing well.
He's doing okay. His numbers aren't amazing, but whatever. Chargers suck. But I think it's got to come from a guy like Herbert. I think it's got to come from him. I think it's got to come from Mac, too, just going, hey, look, I'm having an all-pro season. And those are dwindling. And I'm in a win now mode.
I'm holding
So
the dirt, and I need to win now.
Yeah, like he doesn't have any other option. He doesn't have any other option. Or like if he doesn't do it, what's he gonna do? Request a trade? There's teams that need him. Bills need it. Teams need pass rushing. There's guys that will do it.
What school did he go to?
Buffalo. Ha ha.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. You just nailed a really good fit, maybe by accident.
I mean, Lions, they have a lot. They could trade for him. Him and Hutchinson.
Look, as a fan, I want to see them make trades to win now. I don't want to see them make trades to tear it apart.
No,
you know, but I'm curious because the owner's not that kind of owner. The owner's not Jerry Jones. Okay, the owner's not the owner that holds coaches accountable. But if you're Tom Telesco, because when you look at the ranking of how important you are in the organization, I think there's a conversation needs to be had about how those last 2 minutes went. What was the plan? At the 2-minute warning, I want to know what was discussed and how did it end up like that, where it was obvious to everybody watching on television that half the team didn't know what to do. How does that happen?
Yeah.
There
what's your plan? Don't lose?
Yeah. I mean,
there's never a plan at the end of these games.
You think Staley went, I don't know if you guys saw it, LeBron's over there and Jay-Z's over there. Like, I mean, what were they talking about? They weren't prepared. I've never seen NFL level receivers put their hands up. I don't know the play. What are we doing? What are we doing? The whole left side, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. Boom.
How much did the Chargers lose by? 3 points.
Exactly.
Why do the Chargers keep passing up points during these games? 4th and 1. Just take the field goal. They're down by 3 at the time anyway. Take the field goal. Enough with this 4th and 1 crap. 4th and 2. Just get the points. We need the points. Especially when your defense is doing enough to keep guys limited. Take the points. Brandon Staley is not the guy's job. We've said this for God knows how long. At the end of the game, he's not prepared. Enough is enough. Let's bring in somebody that knows what they're doing. I'm tired of this, man. The Chargers are wasting my time as a fan by watching this team. I know they're just not going to come through. It's just not there, man. There's just something missing from that team. Is Justin Herbert going to grab a guy by his shirt and say, hey, I need you? No. There's nothing that's shown he's that guy. Khalil Mack, if he tells me to do something, I'm doing it. You want me to go over there? I'll do it. Khalil, I'll do whatever you want. Keenan Allen, I'll do whatever he wants.
My house.
I'll do whatever these guys want. But seriously, how many guys on that team are you going to listen to? Joey Bosa, I understand he was hurt. 2 tackles? 2 tackles? You're supposed to be one of the top defensive players in the league.
Making $30 million a year.
$30 million a year, man. I mean, come on. Like you said, he's in on every play, not making these plays, not finishing. How many guys on this team actually finish and come through when it matters? Keenan Allen. I can think of one guy, dude, on this whole team. Austin Eckler usually comes through. Today wasn't his day. There wasn't room to run the ball. I'll go Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen. The only 2 guys on offense I think really show up, man. It's sad.
Yeah, they're the only ones that I would say had a heartbeat today. Everyone else, it was, I mean, Palmer played well. I'll give him that. Darius Davis played well, but that's more special teams than anything. Did you guys notice this about the defense today? Because this was driving me nuts. And Aikman pointed out, I believe it was 3rd and 8. Just give a guess how many yards back Davis was.
Yeah,
like 12.
He was literally 12 yards. He was 12 yards back. And Aikman goes, yeah, I don't know why they just don't run a quick hitch or slant right here and
because
get the first down.
It's very soft on the right side. He was calling it out.
Yeah. Could it be softer? Could it be softer? And then that and dropping Mac in coverage when him and Tulio on the same side is the definition of insanity. If there's anyone that backs Staley anymore, if there's just anyone, I want you to look yourself in the mirror and then go into a mental institution and get yourself right, because you are mentally insane.
I didn't like the fact the way Staley even showed up to the stadium today with his walk-in stadium clothes. I'm like, dude, you're a head coach. I don't care.
What was he wearing?
He like he was an NBA player. He had an outfit picked out.
Oh, geez.
And the two bags. He had 3 sets of clothes for tonight. He had his walk-in clothes. He had his coaching clothes, and he had his walking out clothes. And I was like, dude, you're out of your mind. Are you crazy? Let's just get over 500. What are we doing? What are we doing here? That's what we're doing. I don't know. It irritates me right now. Like if that team was undefeated, I don't care what kind of clothes he's wearing. But when they're showing the camera on him and him walking in, and then Bosa comes in with a golf cart because he got a ride from the parking lot. He
Ugh.
didn't walk in. He got a golf cart ride. I'm like, okay, turf toe guy.
We're expecting a guy to make plays that can't walk into the stadium.
Yeah.
Well, how's it
That's-
make
Okay, in
it.
his defense, I would take the
Basically it.
golf cart too.
Be tough one time. Prove it. Like I'm good today, guys. I don't need this golf cart. People already think I'm being soft. I don't like that Brandon Staley. I don't like that Brandon Staley showed up to the stadium. I don't care what he's wearing. I'm upset that he was there. He shouldn't be there. I don't know, man.
I'm angry
Terrible
with
loss.
everything. Everything. I'm fine. I'm angry with everything. I'm angry they wear yellow pants. You name it, I'm angry about it. Everything bothers me about this tonight and the way it went out because the future doesn't look good. The future doesn't look good for next week. Are we going to bring that
No.
girl on this week since they're playing the Chiefs and talk trash to her and then embarrass ourselves again?
Well, how about Dave? You guarantee a Chiefs win because that every time you do that, it
I
tends to
am.
go the
I'll
other
do it right
way.
now.
Yeah.
I guarantee the Chiefs are going to win this game. Patrick Mahomes is going to
Yeah.
break your heart, and Kelsey's going to score the game-winning touchdown. And they're going to play with the Chargers enough to win by like 4. And you go, man, we had our opportunities.
Yeah, we
That's
had
the
our
way it goes.
opportunities.
This is a terrible loss. This is a terrible loss, and say whatever you want. The opportunity is right there. National audience against the number 1 brand in sports, and you blew it. 100%
Quick
blew it
note.
against the Dallas Cowboys.
Can you guys guess Herbert's record now as a starter?
Is it 500?
27-27.
Wow,
Great.
Eli Manning.
Great.
Eli Manning. I'd take Eli Manning.
It's a Super Bowl,
I-
but 50-50.
He'll be a Hall of Famer. Look, I don't know what do you expect from Justin Herbert? No joke. What do you expect? I forget the wins and losses. What do you want to see different from Justin Herbert? He started running. We talked about him running. Almost got killed a couple times. It kind of sucks that he's running now that he has a broken hand. But overall, he started doing a little bit more. What do you want to
His
see? If
running-
you could change one
Yeah.
thing about Justin Herbert's game, Josh, what would you change?
I like the running today. It was effective. It's always effective when he tries to use his legs. My one thing with him is what I said earlier: take shots. Stop overthrowing guys, dude. Like the Keenan Allen thing twice. He's just lofting the ball too far. He's wide open, dude. Just throw it at him. Even when guys are draped on certain receivers, you're supposed to be elite. You cannot be elite and not take chances. Take some chances, man. You throw an interception every now and then. It's okay, man. You have the threat of, completing a pass. Way too many passes he throws sail out of bounds all the time. He's always sailing the ball out of bounds. Try to fit in some holes, man. Come on.
I want him to own a 2-minute drill.
Yeah.
Own it. Run it perfectly. Run it like it's on the back of your hand. Everyone knows where to go. There's no one wondering what's happening. Ball snapped quick. Like that. Boom. You're good. We're inside their 25. We're in field goal range. We feel comfortable in the game. That's what I want from Herbert. Have that. Have that attitude. Have that clutch gene. Have that pre-plan of what you're going to do in that 2-minute drill to be successful. Go through your reads quickly. Get the ball out. All that stuff. That's what I want to see from Herbert next. And until he makes that step, we're stuck in purgatory.
Guys, looking at the schedule, I think this is a 9-8 or 8-9 team. What I want to see from Herbert is I want to see obviously communication. I want to see him actually be the guy whose team this is. Right now, it doesn't feel like it's his team. It just seems like he's a guy on the team. I want to see what I've been saying for a long time. I'd like to see him kind of lose his mind a little bit on the sideline when it's time to. I'd like to see him encourage his teammates when it's time to. But I don't know if he's the kind of guy to lead them in. Just don't know it. Great athlete, can do a lot of things out there. I mean, there's nothing about this guy's life that people wouldn't want, but all I care about is wins, and I don't know if he's the guy to lead them in. I want to see a quarterback out there that leads them in, and the guys that seem to win Super Bowls, they lead them in, and I just haven't seen it from Justin Herbert. He's fine just being a guy on the team, and you can't just be a guy on the team when you're the highest paid guy on the team, and you play the most prolific position in all the sports, and I think most people coming into tonight had him ranked as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. I don't know how many people watch that game today that don't follow Charger football that would say he's a top 5 quarterback.
I wouldn't. I follow Charger football. He's not a top 5 quarterback right now. He's just not.
Mm-mm.
I got a confession also. I was going to put on a Charger shirt. It might look like I'm wearing a Charger shirt right now. It even has the yellow. It's Akron Rubber Ducks. I couldn't even put on a Charger shirt for this. I was so upset.
I really wanted to wear all black and make fun of Dan Quinn for doing that last week against the Niners.
You know that I don't
died.
know, Mario. I know you don't follow Dodger baseball, but they always show video of Clayton Kershaw when he blows it in the playoffs, and always some guy that rips his jersey off, walks all the way down the aisle, and takes his Kershaw jersey and just throws it on the field and walks away. Screw it, I don't want to wear this anymore. That was that lady tonight. That lady that kept showing in the
Yeah.
stands, who's losing her mind. That was her taking the Herbert jersey off, just rifling it right on the field.
Charger fans, this was all a really tough loss. Leave your comment how you're reacting to the loss. We'll read them out next episode. Do it together as a family. Hashtag Bolt City family.
Therapy session.
Therapy session. Don't worry. We all know how to deal with therapy, and we all have some type of doctor that you don't need to know about.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick before we get out of here. Tomorrow, when you wake up, are you going to feel worse? You're going to feel better? You're going to feel the same? Like, I know we completely lost our minds because as soon as that game ended, we jumped on this thing. All of us are running hot right now. Are you going to feel bad for this show? Or you think it's going to be justified to your thoughts?
This show makes me feel better.
Yeah.
With that being said, I'm going to be more mad tomorrow. This is only temporary. Good right now, a little bit. Blew off some steam. I'm going to go to sleep, wake up angry.
Like if you watch this show on Friday, you aren't going to be embarrassed by this show. Like you think all your emotions and getting upset, they're justified on Friday. They're justified on Monday night.
They're justified all the time. How could you watch this show
you.
and not feel the same way we do as fans? If you're going to watch a Chargers podcast and we're going to tell you that everything's sunshine and rainbows, you're listening to the wrong show. We're going to tell you how we feel, and hopefully the Charger fans, you feel the same way we do, frustrated.
Yeah, I'm going to take an edible after this and feel numb.
Yeah, don't come in here with excuses in your comments. I don't want to hear the excuses.
Yeah, please don't.
I don't want to hear the excuses. I just want to know what does this team need to do to get better. Because I tell you what, that Jacksonville loss in the playoffs is still with me. In this game right now, if this team bombs, we're going to go back and look to it and go, remember when they lost to the Cowboys? That's when we knew they weren't going to make the playoffs. That's when we knew this team was going to struggle. I feel like an idiot for telling anyone, by the way, to bet that Herbert's going to win MVP of the National Football League this year. You know, I'm sorry you just lost your money. That was a horrible decision on my part to say he's your guy. God dang it.
Yeah. Well,
all right. We're going to come back on Thursday, and we're going to talk about the Chiefs, and we're going to pick games, and we're going to have a better week than we had this past week. And we're going to hopefully, like the Chargers, we're going to regroup, and we're going to sit there and see how this team performs.
Should we go over records that we did?
Go ahead. My night couldn't get any worse.
Okay. Well, in total, Dave, you got 7 right.
That's a miracle.
I got 6.
Jesus,
Josh, you got 3.
Dude,
Jesus.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And I lost my fantasy football game.
I went 3-0 at least on that one. But
I did the 0-3. Teams lost, fantasy teams lost, bets lost. So if anyone wants to kick me while I'm down, go ahead. You got,
right. Someone's gonna knock at the door and just kick you right in the nuts.
Yeah. Hey, balls of steel.
Couldn't get any worse. It's a bad day. This is a record for me, by the way, Mario. Josh has known me obviously his whole life, but man, this is a record for me for going almost an hour and not saying one swear word. Because as soon as we disconnect, I'm just gonna go outside and drop swear words at everything I can. I'll be dropping MF at owls. You name it, I'm cussing in about 3 minutes.
There's gonna be some lady just trying to walk her dog at night, and Dave's gonna look at her and goes, "And you, damn dog."
All right, we'll come back. We'll talk about the Chiefs. We'll break down the next game because we're here the whole season. We aren't going anywhere for you. Leave your comments on YouTube. Kind of curious to know what you guys think. Are we out of line at the same time? What is your prediction for this team? Is this a playoff team? Mario asked the question right during the show. I'm curious to know. Do people think this team can still make the playoffs? Look at the schedule. We want your opinion on what you think. Again, tough night to be a Charger fan. And unfortunately, we say that a lot over the time we followed this team. But again, thanks to Odyssey, Bolt City Podcast, YouTube, of course. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. We need to subscribe, leave comments. All that stuff helps us out, keeps the show going. For Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you Thursday.